Hello, my name is Joe, where I help you make better coffee and give you honest reviews. Today I have a new product that is actually on Kickstarter, which I think is very cool. I actually got to test this before it even was released to the public. And actually I'm recording that right now, which is, again, very cool. I'm having a lot of fun playing around with this product. I've been making a couple of cold brews with it. This is called the Bean Seeker Smart Cold Brew Machine, and this is going to be sold by Espresso Outlet. Definitely check them out. I'll leave a link to the Kickstarter below and then a link to the Espresso Outlet below as well. But basically, this is, I don't know if you've ever seen one of those crazy tall ice maker, drip coffee makers, but this is one of those, but a little bit more intelligent and a little bit more controlled, and obviously a lot smaller. So what this does is, I will turn it on. Where the hell's the on button? Okay. All right. So you just turn it on, and it has this cool aesthetic. It's a little blue. It's got, this metal design here, and it is a little bit, I would say, it kind of reminds me almost of a 3D printer, if you're familiar with those, if you ever played around with one of those. It's very industrial feeling, and I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. There is some customizations on here. You can turn off the light, and you can also turn off the beeps. That's all done in the settings here, so you'll click on the settings button. You'll turn off the light. As you can see, that just turned the light off, and then I'll turn off the beep. And actually, that is kind of how I recommend using this, because for me, at least, I like a pretty strong cold brew. I like more of a concentrate. I like to put a lot of ice in my coffee. Sometimes I'll make an espresso martini or something, and I think these are great for making that cold brew. Drip cold brew is great for that. So I generally make it a little bit stronger than maybe the average person. You can do like a 1 hour cold brew. I find that it's a little lacking in depth and, suppleness, I guess. It's a little, the mouthfeel isn't quite there. I like a little bit more oomph with my cold brew coffee, if you know what I mean. So I do this overnight. I set it. I will set it to like a 5 hour brew, wake up in the morning, and I have cold brew I can put right over ice, and it's ready to go. Speaking of cold brewing and things like that, what makes this smart is that you could actually set a lot of different parameters on this. It has a scale built in. It has, and as you can see, I'm like pressing down on this. It's quite reactive. The scale actually goes up and down there. And then it also has water temperature. So if you want to set the water temperature to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, however cold you want the temperature of the water, you can actually set that right there, which really is cool. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when I go to brew. And then you have flow rate. Again, this is how much water is dropping over your coffee bed. And then you have the extraction volume, which it'll be using the scale to measure the extraction volume. But I find it quite nice to be able to play around and get the exact parameters you want for maybe a specific coffee. Again, some people like a 250 milliliters at a 250 milliliter flow rate, which would give you cold brew in about an hour. I like it closer to 50 milliliters flow rate at 250 with 50 grams of coffee, giving me a 1:5 ratio. So let's go ahead and talk about my ratio, how I make this coffee. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. I've seen some other people I've talked to that are shooting for that 250 to 250, but I'm going to tell you what I like. So what I did here is I've got 50 grams of ground coffee. Go pretty coarse with it, almost like you would do, maybe slightly coarser than you would do something like a drip coffee. So, try to aim for that. And then extraction volume, I'm doing 250 milliliters. Like I said, that's going to be a 1:5 ratio. So yeah, and then on the flow rate, I'm doing 50 milliliters per hour. So that means it'll take about 5 hours to brew this. With that said, make sure, and I've kind of come to find this out by trial and error, when you go to brew, if you're doing a slow rate like 50 to 70, even 100 milliliters per hour, make sure your temperature is well above freezing. 0 degrees Celsius is freezing. You kind of want to go like maybe 5 degrees Celsius or even 7 degrees Celsius. Obviously, you can't get it hot or anything like that, but that's it's well below room temperature. Room temperature is like 23 degrees Celsius. So just make sure you do that. So I have mine right now set at 7.5. I'm going to keep it right there. And the reason I'm doing that is that it doesn't freeze in the line. If you let it freeze in the line, you're going to get a lot of errors. You're going to have a lot of issues. It won't. It'll just keep stopping, and it'll say check your lines and all that stuff. So make sure you set that around that temperature at a slower flow rate. I would say if you're 100 milliliters per hour or less, definitely do that. So in terms of the product though, it does what it comes with. I'm going to tell you a few things. It comes with 3 water lines, and you attach that right in the back, and then you put it into a water vessel like I have here. It comes with this beautiful carafe here. I actually like this thing a lot. It's very nice. It shows the milliliters, and it's got a nice design to it. It has the Bean Seeker logo on here. And then it also comes with your V60 drip tray. So this is cool. It actually has all the V60 things you need. It even comes with the filters, which are here. These are quite hydrophobic, so water kind of beads off of them. So you got to get it pretty wet if you like to pre-wet before you do it. And then it also comes with the filters that you put on top. In my case, I didn't really like these all that much. It wasn't bad, but I actually prefer the width of a AeroPress filter. So I have an AeroPress filter. I'm going to stick this right on top of my coffee bed. And you want to try to get this pretty centered. Basically what this is doing is you are getting a wider, it's almost like a water shower screen, so you can kind of like move the water all around the coffee bed. So with that said, I'm actually going to go ahead and hit start. And you can see it, it's cooling. You'll hear the fan start. You're also going to see this water temperature over here start to drop as I turned it on. And it's just going to brew. One other item too I want to mention, it does have a carafe lid again, so if you're storing this in your refrigerator, you could store the coffee for at least a few days before it might go bad. And I've overall really enjoyed the coffee this has produced. Like I said, you got to kind of fine tune it, figure out how you like your cold brew, but I have been enjoying it a lot. It's super simple. You just put some coffee in there. Once you get your ratio right, you hit the button, go to bed. In the morning, you'll have fresh cold brew ready to go, and it makes very simple. You don't have to like think about it once you get it. So with that said, I'm gonna let this run. I will come back to you in the morning. I'll give you a little taste test, and we'll go from there. See you. All right, voila. We're in the morning here. Got the cold brew ready. Gonna go ahead and open it. Nice seal on here. I really like it. Everything's glass. It's just got a really nice feel. I know I mentioned that before, but everything is quite nicely made. So you're gonna go ahead and pour this up. This is a pretty nice, thick, silky cold brew. Smooth, intense, dark. It's good. It's really good stuff. So definitely check out the Kickstarter. I'll leave a link in the description below. Again, obviously like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and definitely enter the giveaway that we have going on with the Espresso outlet. And I will catch you in the next video. Thanks.